5 reasons why I love you and none of them rhyme. 9 times 9, 81. Bonnie and Clyde. We got high and sat by the Wellington side. I had one hell of a time. It's rock and roll till I...
Welcome to the Green Tea, Freedom and Truth channel. This is Tristan. It's good to have the Green Tea team back for this edition of the video log. I'm very happy and feeling very blessed to be having Angie Moncur as a guest on the show today. Angie is the candidate for Bay of Plenty for Advance New Zealand. Welcome, Angie. How are you doing?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very well, thank you, Tristan.
Yeah. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule with only 8 days to the election exciting times to share with us. And I think it's really important 8 days out to the election for us to be well informed, to know the options we have with this. This is such an important election. So yeah, a big thank you. And I've really been enjoying your videos you've been doing and posting on Facebook. You seem very outdoorsy. Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. So you're a mother of 3 boys, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And three grandsons?
I do have, yeah. Beautiful.
I have 3 grandchildren also. You look too young to have grandchildren.
Good, you're heading in the right direction. Thank you.
Yeah. And you're passionate about mental health and well-being, also outdoor activities. Mm-hmm.
Yep, the environment.
Yeah.
And our curbing freedoms are a concern, and along with my passions. So yes.
Yeah.
A number of things that probably too many to go through today, but certainly we can pick out a few and go over them. It'll be good.
Yeah.
So.
And you've been involved. You're a facilitator for the You Are Not Alone mental health and wellness program.
Yes, for about 2 years now, I've been facilitating a mental health support group, You Are Not Alone, BOP. Mm-hmm. We run out of an office or a building room out of the historic village in Tauranga. Mm-hmm. So I've been running that regularly. So since the mental health roadshow ran through the country under the Labour, when Mr. Ardern ordered a inquiry into the mental health situation in New Zealand, and that's where I went along and was really shocked at what I saw and what I heard, and that's what sprung up from there.
Oh, very good. So, and you're very well read and you're passionate. I get that sense of the passion that you bring to the candidacy, putting your hat in the ring, standing up for Advance New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's many of us in Tauranga and the Greater Bay of Plenty who seem to have banded together and show their concerns, and I was so concerned what was going on out there. I thought, we need to do something. Why isn't anyone doing anything? Someone needs to stand up, and of course we all have our own individual choices to stand up, but nothing was coming together. Then I saw Billy on TV sort of just during and coming out of the lockdown, and he was a man that was standing up with a voice that made a lot of sense. It was almost like he came out of the woodwork at the right time when a lot of us were waking up in the lockdown, and the lockdown to me was a time of reflection and rest, and it was a gift. And a lot of my downtime in the lockdown was used looking through videos and reading and listening to what had been going on out there. And I realized things had been going on for so long, decades, in fact. That was a real shock. It was a real shock to me. But on the other hand, I kind of understood and felt that I'd already known that, but had dismissed a lot of things because I was too busy. And I think that's the thing, really. Everyone just gets too busy, being busy in life and running families and getting out, doing things and having fun in our lives, actually, that we missed a lot of it. We missed a lot of what was going on around us. So that inspired me to find the support groups in my area and join them. And then I found out there were no candidates in our area, and I thought, that can't be. We've got a big catchment area. We must do something about this. So I just put my hat in the ring then and applied. And then Daniel Crozer, our other candidate for Tauranga. He's an awesome guy. We're really good comrades in freedom fighting. We both kind of applied around the same time. So he got Tauranga, and I particularly wanted to come into the Bay of Plenty, being maybe to do with more of the land and the bigger catchment area to because I'm so concerned what's going on in our environment.
Yes.
So that sort of led me down that track.
Yeah.
So I was really wrapped and very excited to get into this role.
Yeah. And I think that's how it has been for a lot of Kiwis. Having that time during the lockdown was a time of awakening, a time of, seeing, things have been exposed to us that maybe were hidden, and we weren't quite aware that the totalitarian tiptoe had progressed so far.
Yeah.
And, with this people's movement, the Advance New Zealand Party, there's such a groundswell of support for them at this time. I think it's partly due to that awakening that happened during that lockdown time. That segues in nicely to a question. We've been under a lot of media fear-based negative attack. Mental health and wellness has been on top of a lot of Kiwi consciousness, with unemployment rising, a lot of stresses and strains on family. What ways would you in Advance New Zealand, what could you see to support and improve our current state of our mental health system?
Well, it seems quite simple to me. We will carry on doing what we're already doing. We are now leading by example. We're not waiting to get across the line and do something. We're not waiting to get your permission out there for us to go ahead and do something to help improve it. We're doing it now. We're giving you permission to step up and to speak your truth. And if you are finding yourself in hard times and difficult financial situations that you've never had before, I totally understand that's humiliating, but I want you to know we are all one and the same kind of people. We all hurt the same way, and we can make things in life the way we want to and develop a more robust attitude. And I'd like to say to people that Advance NZ really does embrace family values, good values of transparency and accountability. We can't allow these others out there to take over our lives in such a insensitive and a destructive way, because this is not what's good for all. And I'm all about the people for the people. I really care about what's going on in our communities, and I can see clearly that it's not working. So we bring to the table sensible, intelligent, well thought out, factual data, sensible solutions that we could come in and not tell you what to do, but ask you, hey, what do you want? How can we help you? This is our time in 2020. We've only got a few months left. We've got the election next week. And I feel the election, there's a lot more bigger things going on than just the election, but it's a critical time for us to tell you we are stepping up. We are showing you what we're made of. We are going to do the talk and walk the walk with you. Stand there as your support team. I will fight for you because that is the right thing to do. What has been going on is not working. And I have enough experience to understand of working in, and it's a volunteer position I do. Working in with the mental health support group it's been very humbling, because it's given me a lot of possibilities of ideas that are working, that I've been able to try holistic and alternative ways, asking people in my group to start bringing themselves back into centre and minding their own business. It's all these little cliches that make so much sense. So simple steps. Don't allow everyone else inside your head to tell you what to do and scare you about what's going on. There is somewhere in you this rod of truth that you can hold on to that makes you who you are. And no matter how different, like I embrace, and a lot of us in Advance NZ embrace your differences. I love and enjoy the differences that we are. I acknowledge it, and I honour that we're all great individual people with our own thoughts, and not one solution and not one set of rules will suit everyone. And that's why it's so important that we have this responsibility, or not responsibility, we have this means of a platform to discuss things and not be lauded over, have an equal standing of what is working and make those choices. And bringing in a robust, simple platform, like an advocacy platform, and bringing in the best of everything. See what is working as opposed to what's not working. Bring in what's constructive as opposed to what's destructive. Instead of scaring people, let's bring some really good ideas to the table of looking after your health, looking after your nutrition, looking after planting things in your own gardens, and bringing people back to the idea of becoming a lot more self-sufficient, caring about your own health. And I'd be all about not telling you, but saying, here are the things that are working. Let's try these things out. And let's become a lot more caring and loving in our approach, and watch how we use our words. When we're in the media and we present stories, it's really important to be responsible in the way we say words, because they carry a vibration that we feel. We feel it. And so if we're not coming from an authentic place, people can feel it and feel a little bit threatened. That's not helpful. So we've got to go looking at better ways of speaking, better ways of doing, and better ways of implementing, and keep tracking that to see if that's working.
I liked what you were saying about, and I think people are resonating with people that are speaking authentically from their truth. They're speaking from their heart and people are resonating with that vibration of truth and honesty, as opposed to, just cookie cutter kind of things that are coming out. And I also liked what you said about the holistic approach to mental health and wellness. The going inside some internal work, the diet, environment, the company, the company we keep. All of these things are components to build someone up and keep someone in a mentally healthy state. So I resonated with you when you were saying that, because it's not just about giving medication or there's so many other components to it that need to be brought in a holistic way. So thank you.
Definitely.
As we've seen this erosion of our rights and freedoms with the lockdown, the subsequent levels of restriction, what would Advance New Zealand do to help protect the rights and freedoms of Kiwis who maybe feel that their rights and freedoms are not quite, their Bill of Rights has been trampled over, their freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of speech, these things is really getting to the heart of a lot of Kiwis. How would Advance New Zealand, and I think with 8 days out to the election, a lot of people, the freedom of speech, the internet censorship bill, what would Advance New Zealand be looking at doing to help protect our freedoms and rights?
This is a very concerning situation that we're in, and something big needs to happen, and we represent change, big change on this. It needs to be robustly looked at and overhauled and reviewed and changed. This is not right what's going on. We're dumbing down people. We're allowing that dumbing down to carry on, where people are too scared now to say anything. They're too scared to even tell anyone what their decision might be in voting. It's something as simple as that. So I believe we have a lot of silent voters and a lot of silent people agreeing to things but are too scared to actually voice it. It's time to stand up and be that voice, and it's the most critical time now. Is the time, and we will help you. We are there to support you. We will rewrite the government constitution that makes sense for the people, a people's constitution, a Bill of Rights that's entrenched, so it can't be overridden by other preceding or following governments in the future, that anyone who decides to have a go at doing that. Because I think what's happening right now, what I believe is happening right now, is laws and constitutions and very important documents that are the sovereignty of New Zealand have been eroded away, and almost I think it's disappeared into the chasms of history. And we need to think back, unless we forget our forefathers and our ancestors from where we came from. We've all come from somewhere, and we came to this great land, and it's our paradise. My parents are Dutch immigrants, and I was New Zealand born. And my mother used to always rave on about what a paradise we lived in. They thought they were so wealthy. They had a 1/4 acre section with apples and plum trees and built a house. My dad was a builder, and he was a good businessman. And they taught me, they brought me up to be tolerant. And so we were brought up in a fairly predominantly Māori community. And so and I also, my father had a lot to do with the missions in the Pacific Islands. I grew up around the Pacific Island communities in Mangere, and we used to have festivities every year as I was growing up because he was involved in missionary work. And so we did a lot of things, and we were community-orientated people. And we blended in with all the Kiwis in our street. We were the only foreigners in our road. And I know what it was like to be probably, could I say, biased against, because my parents were foreign speaking. So all these things collectively come together to bring me to understand a lot of people where they come from, who don't understand our language, and that we're all one people. And I thank my parents for that, and I thank them for bringing me to NZ, because I'm just so in love with our country, and I don't want to lose the rights. I don't want my children and my grandchildren to lose the rights to roam around free in this country and have clean soil, air and water to grow produce and to survive. Our very survival hinges on looking after our environment. So all this comes under the Bill of Rights, and everything needs a complete review and overhaul, quite honestly, and a reset of what's been going on and why, and searching for the accountability and putting that right, and holding referendums that are for the people, that are binding and they're sensible and they're well worded. Again, back to the quality of the word, that when we're holding referendums, that they're well thought out, they're robust, we understand what they mean, we look at all the pros and cons, so we can make a clear, intelligent, robust decision on all the important things that matter to us. We are intelligent, well educated, and not if we're well educated, even if we don't have an educated, we have the smarts, we are streetwise, we are land-wise, we have so many different dynamics of people that matter. Everybody matters, and they matter to me. And I am going to be your voice in that regard. So, yeah.
That's great.
That's it for there right now. Otherwise, I'll rave on.
No, that was really good. And I think, a lot of Kiwis and New Zealanders are resonating with that, having the Bill of Rights and the Constitution in a position where it cannot be legislated away, where it actually has meaning and as a solid document for us to work off. And during this, the election campaign and the lockdowns, I've noticed that no other parties have been talking about that baseline of our rights and freedoms as free sovereign beings. Without that, a lot of other building policies and a foundation without that is not a wise thing. So that's one thing that I really like about the Advance New Zealand Party, is that that foundational protection of freedoms and rights as individual, as a sovereign nation. I've worn my outdoors shirt today, my green one, and I know you're passionate about outdoor activities. Could you speak a little, Ange, about the Advanced New Zealand Party's position on 1080, the dropping of poison throughout our beautiful, God's own country, our land? I think it's a lot of people.
I'll say it very simply. No. Simple. No. Ban it. We have to honestly start looking and implementing as soon as we can robust, proven alternative solutions to this. That has got to stop. I am tired and sick of these programs rolling out without our acknowledgement, under skullduggery, kind of hidden during nights and mornings spraying or whatever they're doing without anyone knowing, acknowledging. It's rude, it's disrespectful, and it's against our human survival rights. This takes away the ability to grow trees and fruit for our survival as a human race. Stop it, stop it, stop it. That's it.
Yeah, well said, well said. So it is a policy of Advance New Zealand that the 1080 will be.
Yes, it is. Sorry, it's in my folder. We're going to repeal it simply, and I have it here somewhere. I don't know if it's a policy or it's a position.
Yeah.
Sorry, bear with me. Bear with me.
That's all right.
It could be a position. We've got something in the agricultural policy, and it will be in there. And if I may just quickly have a quick look, because I don't want to take up too much time. It's a real bugbear for so many people of the land and all of NZ. I'm sorry, I'm not 100%, but we're going to be looking at that.
Yeah, just while Angie's doing some extra research, how can people, you know, if they want to support Advance New Zealand, what are the best ways for them to? People can vote now. You know, how can
people vote now? Get into the polling booth, vote, party vote, Advance NZ. Get in there and get your electoral, wherever what electorate you're in. You vote for your candidate for Advance NZ. So it's tick, party vote, Advance NZ, tick, candidate vote. If you're in Bay of Plenty, vote for me, Angela Moncur. It's so simple. 2 ticks and you're done.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome. My last question to you for this interview, which has been great. New Zealand has been in a housing crisis for many years, overpriced housing. The average house price in New Zealand is almost $700,000. As house prices are growing, the gap between rich and poor is extended. Young people can't afford to get into homes. The costs are increased in running businesses because rentals are higher. All of these sorts of things, and as you were talking about your upbringing, the quarter-acre dream, you know, for me as well. That was the Kiwi way. You'd have a bit of land, your nice little house, and you'd grow things, and that was achievable for most Kiwis. What would Advance New Zealand do to help rectify and get the house, flatten the curve of the ever increasing house prices?
We need to have a really good look at who's coming in and buying houses in our market. A lot of overseas buyers have been able to come in and snap up land and properties and accelerate the prices fourfold in auctions, which is just, quite frankly, fed the greed. And people who haven't thought outside the square, when you're in your own local area and someone comes in to buy your house from overseas for way more than what anyone would have thought you're going to get, it pushes up the prices and expectations everywhere, feeds the greed wagon. And these, we don't know why this has been allowed to happen. It's probably put us into a false sense of financial security in some way, that everyone's expectations go up. I'm not going to sell for less than $1 million kind of diatribe is what's happening. And a lot of things just aren't working. It doesn't make any fiscal sense at all. The formula doesn't work. You used to be able to buy a house, earn a wage, sometimes one wage, and make ends meet. The formula doesn't work anymore. Now you need many people coming in to buy one property. You can't all fit into it because it's only 3 bedrooms. It's not even that great, and it's 700,000 or 800,000. It's just absolutely not good enough. So that has to be looked at, where that's coming from. And there's a lot of finance issues too. The debt that's out of control, the taxation, we've got far too much tax that we pay. That's got to be brought back into check and get a lot of that cleared out. And really there needs to be a robust clearing out and resetting across the board on all the financial monetary system, which is driving a lot of this as well. There is this burgeoning debt crisis. We need to repeal some of the clauses of the Public Finance Act to bring a lot more sense back into how we're running things. Also, with the housing crisis, we need to also look at and review ways to make land available and come up with a more collaborative approach with the key people or the key industries, and looking at local council. Local government has a lot to answer for, the compliance costs and the building costs in with the key monopoly of construction companies, and everyone seems to be clipping the ticket and forgetting about the end user. That's just driving prices up. So it used to be once $300,000 to build a house is now $500,000 because of all the extra costs and compliances. So all that needs to have a good look at and bring things back into check.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot there to look at.
Yeah, I had a look at the recently released Advanced New Zealand housing policy, and
Yes.
I thought they had some good points addressing the supply side, because there's two sides of this issue. It's the supply side and the demand side, and some of the removing the GST on real estate fees. This is all going to help, and doing some things around the Resource Management Act, allowing councils to free up land, and reducing the the red tape and bureaucracy around
that needs an overhaul.
Around creating sections and freeing up the land, because we're one of the most underpopulated countries in the world. We have a lot of good land to build on. So I really liked the some of the things. Most of the policy I liked for the housing. A little bit for me is it's the demand. Why there's a big demand for housing, and because there's the tax breaks, and people can, the average politician owns 4.4 houses, because you wouldn't want to have your money in any other place, because there's tax. Tax breaks. If you have it in the bank, you're paying high tax, or in a business and that sort of thing. So that would have been one thing I would have liked to have seen, as something to address the other countries have it. I really like the supply side, which the Advanced New Zealand Party has. I think all of those things are going to help reduce the cost of supplying houses, which
it's very robust.
It's a robust,
definitely. There's a lot of help for first home buyers. We have this dream. We have a dream that everyone should be able to live in their own house, and we're going to make that happen. And there's a lot of steps to go through it, but they're solid steps, and they're workable steps to help with grants and changing the taking out capital gains tax on owner occupied and tenanted, removing the GST, as you said, on real estate fees.
I like that.
Resource Management Act is just over the top and onerous. That needs a clearing out and a review on that one. Identifying locational needs for residential sections and providing land development funding loans. That helps everybody get through there. And creating a government lender known as Advanced Home Loans to offer a scheme for low-income families, just really putting our money where our mouth is. So there's a lot of good initiatives in there to read, and I'd suggest anyone who wants to know more, we've got a lot of policies that have been released from a very, very robust thinking tank in our candidacy and our management structure. So just go to advancenz.org.nz and check them out, because they're really simple to read. They're no more than 3 or 4 pages. It's probably 2 to 3 pages. And that's why we like it. Just get it simple, get it sensible, make it intelligent and good for everybody.
Great. So, thanks for that, Angie. So what I will do is all of these, the websites, I'll leave a link to your Facebook page below.
Thank you.
Is there an email? Is there any other way that people can contact you if they would like to?
I have, angela.moncur@gmail.com.
Great. So I'll put that in the description box below. So we'll just it's been so informative, and your passion, your knowledge, Bay of Plenty is blessed to have you as a candidate.
Thank you.
So please, if you'd like, just a minute, just a final wrap up of anything you'd like to pass on to your constituents.
Yes, I would. I'd say support me to support you. We are in the 11th hour of the election game show. I will stand up and fight for you and be your voice. So stand with me, stand with Advance NZ for a new way of life and regenerate a new way of being. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Angie. Remember, people that are watching, you are the networking arm. You know, you please share this around. Let people see, you know, what other options people have. So, you know, like, share, and subscribe. You know, send it to a friend. Share the knowledge. Have courage. Speak your truth. Support each other. Have faith and have fun. Peace out.
Peace out. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Love it.